your story may help someone else. And so by you continuing to hold it in, you're robbing someone else of the opportunity, of the motivation, of the experience that could transform their lives because you think your story isn't big enough or important enough to share. Even when I started in my career, I felt like I was meant for more. Um, and and so being in that dead end role and feeling like I am living below my potential, there was always something that was nagging at me that I could do and be more. My parents raised me to do and be more. And so that was always kind of the in the back of my mind. So as I continued to progress in my career, I was always looking for how can I grow? How can I accelerate? How can I, get to that next level? And ultimately, as I continued that career progression, I got to a point where I was in senior leadership and I was asking myself, so senior finance leadership, and I was asking myself, how do I feel about where I am now? What is the next level for me? What is the next step? And I was beginning to feel like I was ready for kind of like that next level of, call it elevation, or that next level of sharing my story with other people because I had been through so much. It's easy to look from the outside and say, oh, your career is growing, it's awesome. But at the same time, I was dealing with so much adversity at work, right? I was dealing with whether it's racism, I was dealing with people who were undermining my authority, I was dealing with people who were berating me at work. I was dealing with so much, even in that process of elevation in my career. And so I got to a point to say, I can't keep this inside, especially since I was coaching people as part of my business as well. I said, how can I start to share this message? Because I know I'm not the only one going through it because my clients are going through it. And so that's really where I started to think about doing a TEDx talk and being able to shine a light on that. And so that's when I actually got into the process to really say, how can I package all of this experience, this painful experience, and turn it into something that other people can be inspired and motivated by, and also know that they're not alone on their journey.
That's so good. One thing that jumped out to me when you were speaking there, you said, I can't keep this inside. And that really spoke to me. Talk about being a corporate leader, because we might have some corporate leaders listening who have a message. They need to share that message, but they might think, I'm a corporate leader. That's just what it is. But I can't get on the TEDx stage. That's not me. It would be nice, but I can't. Someone is going through that right now, because I know even for me as a professional, there were times where that imposter syndrome snuck in and it was like, all right, whatever, good luck. Watching Simon Sinek and Brene Brown all those years ago, like I could do that. And then now to be here on the other side of it, I know someone else is experiencing that. So talk to me about, I can't keep that inside, and speak to the corporate speakers, or the corporate leaders out there who maybe have a message to share.
Yeah, so one thing that I have learned on my journey is that your story may help someone else. And so by you continuing to hold it in, you're robbing someone else of the opportunity, of the motivation, of the experience that could transform their lives because you think your story isn't big enough or important enough to share. So for that corporate leader who's listening, your experience on a day to day, your experience with your teams, your experience with your management, there's someone out there that is struggling with the exact same thing and needs to hear from you because they may not have the voice to speak and you do. And if you keep that, that means there's someone else who's not going to get that push through or that breakthrough that they need. And so honestly, that's really what pushed me, was that my story, I was like, my story isn't that big of a deal. Like, people deal with corporate crap all the time. But I'll tell you, after my talk came out, people have DM'd me, emailed me, commented about how much this talk resonated with them and how much they saw themselves in my story. And so for any corporate leader that's out there, you'd be surprised how many people need to hear what you have to say.